Hello, everybody. This is Zero to Hero, where everyday Canadians are getting ahead with real estate. This is the show where we dive into the success stories of several real-world investors. We dive into the strategies that help take their business to the next level. You get to know the who, learn the how to get what you need to succeed. Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Daniel Blagrove. Today, I'm with the legendary, the one and only Alex Solga. Today, I'm going to be having a great conversation with him because, listen, for many of you who are looking to get started in real estate, Alex was a struggling investor in the beginning, swinging the hammer late night, sacrificing time with his family. Fast forward, he is now running a successful active business, building custom homes and doing a number of different great things within real estate. He is designing his life in such a way to serve his family and his goals, and doing this while in the meantime playing multiple instruments as an amazing musician, whether it's the guitar, the piano, whatever else you want to throw at him, he can definitely do it. And so I'm with the one and only Alex Solga. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, the pleasure is absolutely all mine. And so, look, I got 10 questions I'm going to shoot your way. Are you ready for them?
Let's go.
Okay, all right. Look, I'm going to start easy with you. For the first question, I want to ask, why did you get into real estate?
So that's a short question, long answer. I grew up on a tobacco farm, and growing up on a tobacco farm, I got a taste of what it was like to be your own boss, to be in business for yourself. And really, it was ever since then where I had to be a boss on the farm as I grew up that I developed the desire to have my own business and be in business for myself. And so that led many things down the road, many entrepreneurial activities, which eventually got me into real estate. So real estate wasn't the first thing. Real estate was actually something I got into while I thought I was going to figure out what to get into, and then eventually I realized real estate can be the business. And so that's why I got into it.
Wow, that is really cool. So let me ask you this then. Before you got into real estate, talk to me about what your day-to-day life was typically like before you got into real estate.
So I grew up on a tobacco farm. And then when I was 17, I went to college. I went to Fanshawe College for engineering. And I was really happy to get off the farm, really experience something different. And so I went to Fanshawe. It was a 2.5-year course. I stretched it out to 4 years, which isn't a good thing. And then all the while I drove truck in between. So I got my truck driving license and I would drive on the weekends on co-op terms, things like that, just to make some extra money and not work on the farm. And then after that, I went to college again. I went out west of Saskatchewan. I ended up going to a Bible college just west of Moose Jaw. And I was there for 4 years. And I took theology and then graduated with a BA in business. And I thought I was going to work at the bank, get one of these low-paying jobs at the bank. And the bank wouldn't hire me. So, I thought that was a bad thing at the time, but it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And all the while I was trying entrepreneurial things, whether it was flipping furniture, flipping ATVs, selling bottled water at Friday the 13th events, trading stocks, starting an Amazon store. I was always trying to make something click and work out. And it was very rare that anything did for me.
Wow, that makes perfect sense as to why you're in the real estate and doing it well at this point in your career. So, you know what? I didn't mention that you're a musician. You do a lot of cool stuff on the side, but tell us something that most people wouldn't know about Alex Solga.
So I mentioned it a couple minutes ago. I don't think anyone knows I drove truck. So especially when I was out west, I would drive truck every weekend. I would go to Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg on the weekends. And then the summer of 2007, I had nothing to do. So I drove truck full time, long haul. And in 4 months, I put on 91,000 kilometers. And my coolest run was a run from Toronto to Anchorage, Alaska. That took me 6 days. I saw nobody. It was in the middle of June and it was amazing.
Wow, that is incredible. 6 days, dude. That's cool, man. Not many people can say they did that. From Toronto, and he did that back as well.
Yeah, so then I ran down to Edmonton, picked up a load, came back, but I was all over North America.
Wow.
So I did that for a long stretch, and I'm happy to never do it again.
It was good for the moment and one and
You
done.
know
There
what?
you go.
I was 19, 20, 21. I was young. I was, I didn't mind at the time, right?
Yeah, 100%. No, that's cool, man. So look, we're into real estate now. You're doing deals, all right? You're in the mix. Tell us about a mistake that you made that you wouldn't want your closest loved one to ever do.
Partnering with the wrong people,
Tell me
right?
about that.
And so, like when I first joined council, I wanted to partner with anyone and everyone. Before I joined council, I thought partnering with anyone was a bad thing. And then I realized how good of a thing it can be, but not with the wrong people. So if you have, say you partner with someone who is on a different page than you, say they're extremely analytical, aren't able to pull the trigger, or vice versa, right? Or you just think totally different, you will clash a lot. And even getting cash from investors, like we're raising money, I don't want to accept money from just anybody. I want to be on the same page as them. And it goes along with surrounding yourself with like-minded people, people who are trying to push themselves to do better. You really need to be careful who you partner with, because it can either go sour or it can go well, even with the best of intentions. And so, and another thing was working hard versus working smart. I thought working hard was working smart a long time ago. And I would put in 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., whatever that is, 15-hour days. I would
Wow.
do that continuously, right? Work at the day job, then go work at the rental property, and then, doing dump runs on the weekend and things like that. And, I thought that was working smart. And meanwhile, I was still broke. I was not getting ahead. I hated what I was doing. I probably had an ego because I was putting in long hours, longer than anyone I know, but it wasn't getting me anywhere. And so, all those things, including ego, like what was the question? Mistake. Yeah, ego. So you can be an extremely intelligent person, but if you are arrogant or prideful or have an ego makes you stupid. Having an ego makes you do things you would never normally do as a person, because ego supersedes wisdom and understanding.
That's
And
right.
so you have to get rid of your ego. And for a lot of years, I had an ego. Ego comes out of insecurity. I had a lot of insecurities growing up. I had a very tough childhood, and I was insecure. So I was always trying to prove myself. And so I had a big ego. And ego always comes out of insecurity. And so you need to understand that and deal with that.
Man, Alex, I think that's really important to talk about because there's so many people who see other investors putting, looking at their next deal on Instagram and, oh, look at what their trip or look at all the things that they're doing and all this flashy stuff, right? And so it almost compels them that in order for them to feel important or to feel, recognized, they got to be putting on that type of show as well. And it obviously just stems from a place of insecurity and not being content and confident within your own self. Speak to that person for just 1 minute. What would you say to that individual who is looking to feel like, yeah, I got to put on that image in order for me to be respected or liked or desired?
No one cares, honestly. No one cares. You think they care, but you try to be that person that you're not, and you'll actually get a ton of hate for it. So just really be yourself. Being yourself, being unique, that is awesome. Trying to be someone you're not isn't cool. And it doesn't help you sleep at night. And if you understand why you're trying to do that, say out of a certain insecurity, then you can start changing those actions, right? A nice watch, a nice car, it doesn't change your insecurities, right? I have a nice watch and I have a nice car, and you'd be surprised how much hate I get for it, right? So it actually pisses people off. It doesn't impress people. And if you're actually impressing people, those are the people you don't want to be around anyways, because the real people you want to be around don't give a shit, honestly.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Now, you also mentioned earlier that when it comes to partners, right? But before you joined council, you didn't believe in partners. But after you joined council, you realized you got to be very careful when it comes to partners, although it can be very effective. But I want to focus in on that council part. You said that you joined council. Why did you join council, and what was the biggest benefit that you were able to take away from it?
I joined council right after the worst year of my life. So 2019 was the worst year of my life. I ran out of money. I was stuck in another renovation project. Nothing was going my way. My wife was hardly working at all. She was a part-time teaching, and like flipping burgers paid more. Like it was just terrible. And I was never making a lot of money in my day job. And so we ran out of money in October. I had to borrow money off my parents just to live, get another credit card to get through this renovation. Like it was just terrible. And my life was really miserable. And I realized after 7 years of doing the same shit and not getting ahead that I was really doing something wrong. At that point, I've been following Matt McKeever on YouTube. It's like, okay, well, clearly he's doing something different than me. And I didn't have too big of an ego to realize that and admit that. So when I first heard of Castle Tribe, I joined. And as soon as I got some cash available to go to a weekend mastermind, I didn't even hesitate because I knew I was doing something wrong and I needed a change. So that's why I went to the boot camp, and that's why I joined council. And the biggest thing from council was honestly giving me a mindset shift, understanding what it can actually be like to build a business, because I didn't know anyone that did it, and what actually working smart is, right? And actually what working hard is. And you don't have to work like a dog to build a business, and you can build a business around your lifestyle.
Man, that's phenomenal. I actually really, really enjoy that story because it just goes to show you that you don't have to do it one way. That seems to be glamorized, right? Because there's this whole aspect of like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna do this 24/7. If you're not doing it, you're not really working, you're lazy and you're whacking, you don't deserve any success. And that's just simply not true. The reality is everybody's in this game for a different reason. And as long as it's authentically serving those goals and you're not doing it for other people, that's what really matters. So as a result, you're able to get clarity, you leveled up, and you got some really, really big results. So I'm excited for this next question I want you to share. I want you to answer for everybody. Give me a breakdown of your favorite deal. It could be your biggest profit. It could be the worst experience, but tell us of your favorite deal and what were those numbers?
So I just want to quickly touch on one more thing about council. The biggest thing was actually my mindset shift. I really hated myself because I tried so many things for so long in my life and just got failure after failure. So I thought that's what I deserved actually. And I really hated myself. And the biggest thing about the boot camp and joining council was shifting that mindset to actually learning to love myself and not be so hard on myself and letting my mistakes go. So anyways, my favorite deal, I would love to say it's my biggest profit, which I just sold. But you know what? You learn in the shit. And I had a lot of shitty deals. So I have to say, every one of my failure deals is my favorite because we learned so much from those failures, even if it was putting the ego in check, whatever it may be. We learned all of our lessons. We had three flips go to shit. So I'll tell you one. We had a flip in Sarnia. We bought off a wholesaler. It wasn't a great deal. It was an okay deal. Okay, that's not on the wholesaler. That's on us. So it was okay. We didn't really have a lot of support in Sarnia. But we had a guy that was working on the inside for us. We had a guy that was working on the outside for us. The guy who was working on the inside, I saw red flags. I didn't say anything, right? Kind of hoping things would get better. They never did. They got worse, as they always do. And then he finally gets pretty much on the inside, and he did such a terrible job, you'd have to gut it back to the studs again.
Wow.
Like it was awful. And so I finally fired the guy, and he was going to keep sending me invoices because whatever, he thought I owed him more money. He never did. I think he realized he was in over his head. And I was upset with myself for not dealing with it sooner. And then so he did such a bad job on the inside. Then the guy who was doing the outside work did my roof. Roof was still leaking, did the whole roof. And then who was doing the siding, he stole the materials, stole my money, and took off. So now we have this house that is in the middle of winter. You can see the drywall from the exterior. Like it's just such a bad thing. And then we have no support in Sarnia now to actually work on this flip. So like, okay, instead of us losing more sleep, let's focus on making money on our other projects and just dump this. We dumped this flip for a $30,000 loss.
Right? Wow.
And we made a lot of mistakes and we learned a lot of lessons. And so there's a lot of things we don't do that we used to do in the business. And I have to say, it's learning through the shit. You have to go through the hard times to learn. So that's probably my favorite one. And it's my worst one.
Wow. Give me just two things that you learned from there that you said, okay, going forward, we're making sure we're never doing going
We
forward.
only deal with active partners that we trust. So we no longer manage a flip ourselves. Um, I've done it myself, and I'm capable. I hate it. Mark was also doing it, and he's much better suited in another aspect of the business. Like, it wasn't Mark's strong suit at all. And so now we rely on active partners that we know, we like, we trust, and that can execute much better than we can. We are much better being the money partner, which is also there's a big side of the business to that, to managing the bills, being the money partner, raising the capital. Like, there's a lot to that, and we're much better at that than the active flip. So that's one of the many pivots we've made.
Awesome. All right. So, Alex, we're going to move now to the lightning round, where I'm going to give you opportunity to quickly answer a few questions here as we kind of head on out of here. Okay. So, yeah. Look, with the exact knowledge that you have today, so with what you know now, how would you start over with the exact same resources that you had when you first started years ago?
I went many years being solo and not knowing a single investor. I would have connected right away with other investors, right? I would have connected with the local groups. If Castle Tribe was around then, I would have connected right away. Like, doing this solo for so long and really buying properties on a shoestring budget and just stressing yourself out every day, every week, like, that's no way to build a business. So I would have connected right away with other investors and really started learning from day one.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. In 2026, 5 years from now, where is Alex Solga, and what does life look like?
Oh my goodness. So I am speaking on stages. I want to inspire people more than buy real estate, right? So I want to be on stages. I will be on stages, inspiring people, telling my story, and not just my real estate journey, my personal journey. My personal story is much more powerful than my real estate story, as crazy as that may sound. And you know what? Something no one knows about me. I love acting. I used to do auditions for commercials and stuff.
That's awesome.
And then I'm making YouTube videos, playing music, and I'm probably playing in a band. And we have a very successful real estate business where in 5 years it's probably completely passive, owning a lot of apartment buildings, and then just living out our passions.
Man, that's so amazing. It just goes to show you when you do it right, and you allow real estate or your investments or your business to serve you, you can really do a lot of these cool things that you've been putting off or just been doing on a smaller scale, but now you'll have full range to do it. It's awesome. All right, so let's wrap things up here. There are beginners, Alex, listening to your story right now. They're listening to our conversation. They're hearing what you're saying and all the exciting things that you're about, and they're inspired. Because I'm inspired, so I know that people are inspired by you. So what would you say for those who are looking to start their own journey, right? What are the 3 practical things that they should do today to get started?
If you really, first of all, decide which direction you want to go. If you really want to be in real estate, start connecting with other real estate investors, start joining some real estate groups, join Castle Tribe, start having these conversations, and really learn what it's really about. Because unfortunately, people make it sound extremely glamorous, and it is the opposite of extremely glamorous. So really understand what you're getting into, connect with other people, and then get your first deal.
Awesome. And Alex, where can people connect and follow your journey?
So Facebook, Alexander Solga. Instagram, Time is Money. And I will have a YouTube channel, also Time is Money. And so that's where you can connect with me.
That's awesome. Alex, I really appreciate your time with us. And with that said, thank you so much. I look forward to hearing more and more stories of awesome things happening with you and your business partner, Mark Smith. And so take care, and we'll talk soon. This has been Zero to Hero. I hope you took something out of it. Be sure to take action so that you can get results just like our guests that you've listened to today. Stay tuned for the next episodes, and we'll see you on the next one.